Good evening. I just thought I'd update everybody on the day's proceedings at Telford Centre, where I was campaigning with leaflets to get the message out about the English Democrat campaign for the police commissioner election coming on May the 2nd. And again, I was harassed quite severely by the security guards, who were absolutely convinced that no one is allowed to leaflet on their premises because they say it's private property and they have to set the rules. Nobody else has any say in that. I tend to disagree, and I've consulted with Robin Tilbrook, the head of the English Democrats, who's a top London solicitor, and he says under rights of free speech, anybody can campaign politically. Obviously, when there's an election coming up for police commissioner, there is no question that this is a political campaign. But the security guards, again, probably the third time now we've been in fair conflict on this matter, tell me that it's private property and there's no leafleting permitted. And it's actually, I say, well, it's open to the public and we are allowed to leaflet. And they say it's not open to the public. You're there by invitation only. Well, I don't know how that works because the public is streaming in and out all day. I agreed to stop leafleting after an hour and a half and was on the way out, and they frog marched behind me in quite an aggressive fashion. And I said, will you please not harass me because I've already agreed to go. And they had quite an argument, really because we disagree. I mean, I'm saying I have a right to campaign, and they're saying I don't have a right to campaign. So Robin's going to write to them. Robin Tilbrook is going to write to the manager of the Telford Centre, and I've asked for advice from the police at West Mercia, the liaison officer I'm working with to do with the elections for the police commissioner, and I've asked him, can he give me any sort of information which I can give to the Telford Centre to inform them that we are allowed to campaign and we are not to be harassed, because if they harass me, that actually is a criminal matter and I would have to call the police. But I don't. It gets quite heated in these discussions, and they've all got cameras and earphones and are being instructed what to say by somebody somewhere else. And but anyway, I got 200 leaflets out and spoke to lots of people. One lady very annoyed because she was scammed for £1,200 by some gentlemen who said they were going to do her garden. They did nothing, and she called the police, and they came and took the details from her, all her phone details on her mobile phone and text messages, and she waited, and absolutely nothing has happened since. And that was June. That was in June last year. So that's now, dear me, 8-9 months. It's long enough for the police to have done something. So again, we've got members of the public complaining to me. I'm only there an hour or 2 hours, and instantly you'll get somebody coming in with some kind of complaint. And the guy I met in Shrewsbury, who claims his car was actually taken by the police illegally after he had a very minor accident, and the police officer called his insurance company without even speaking to him, and he heard the police officer saying that the car was a complete write-off, and the car was taken away, and he never saw it again. And he did hear that it was on sale later on, and he was warned or threatened. He claims he was threatened by the same police officer who did this to keep out of it and not to talk about it. And this gentleman was in his 90s he's alleging that he was being threatened. So I'm hearing all kinds of just not satisfactory performance by the current police regime. Obviously, I don't know all the details. There could be another side to this, but prima facie, there is some kind of case to answer by the police for poor performance, or worse than poor performance. I'm really quite shocked. I didn't expect that I'd find such things just in my local town, Telford. And then you've got the harassment from the security guards who don't know what the law is, apparently, because you are allowed to campaign politically under freedom of speech rules. So that's enough for tonight. And let's try and see where we get tomorrow. See what comes across the front of my lens in the morning. Thank you. Good night.